In this tutorial, I'm going to introduce Bridge to you. If you've never used Bridge before, it's time to bridge the gap between Bridge and Photoshop. So what is Bridge? Bridge is essentially a file browser. It's great for browsing, batch renaming, metadata, and RAW. And of course, there are many other benefits of using Bridge. What you see on the screen is our default workspace. You can easily change that if you wish. I'm going to click on Film Strip. If you click on your thumbnails, it'll show you a preview above. On the side, you have your Filter tab, and then you have keywords. First, you'll need to assign keywords to your pictures. Date created, date modified, orientation, aspect ratio, aperture value, focal length, white balance. And the great thing is you can click on any of these subcategories. If I click on 510 rather than on 513, it'll show me the pictures taken on 5/10/2012. If I click on 4/1/2012, it'll show me those pictures along with the pictures that I took on 5/10/2012. You can click that and only this date will show up. The same rule applies to everything else. 5/13/2012 is the last time I modified these three files here. The same thing goes for orientation. If you click on landscape, it's only going to show you horizontal pictures. If you click on portrait, it's going to show you portrait orientation. And if you click on square, it'll show you squares. It also tells you how many squares you have, how many portraits, how many landscapes, and so on. In Bridge, you can also organize your pictures by creating collections. Let's click on the Collections tab. And let's say I only want to group the snapshots that I took at the car show earlier last year. So I'm going to select that picture. I'll hold the Control key, select that one, and that one. And I think that's it. Then at the bottom, you're going to click on New Collection. Include selected files in the new collection. Say yes. Then you can rename it. And it's going to tell you that you have 4 pictures within this collection. Another great option in Bridge allows you to write metadata for your files, which will help you locate your pictures at a later time. So I've selected these black and white pictures, and then I'm going to go to Tools, Create Metadata Template. You can select Creator and give it a name. You can skip a lot of these fields. Usually I use a description field, and I'll call this one Cat Black and White. The most important one is keywords. Make sure you describe your pictures accordingly. So I have black and white, cat. There are other options that you can include if you wish, but keywords is the most important one. Then I am going to name this. I'll call it cat, and I'll click Save. Once I do that, I'll go back to Tools, and I'll click Append Metadata, and make sure that you have your picture selected. So let's go back to Append Metadata and click on Cat. And notice right here it's going to process your images. Now let's go back to Filter. Notice that under Keywords, we have no keywords for 12 pictures. We have 5 keywords for black and white and 5 keywords for cat. If you click on cat or black and white, it's going to show you the pictures with the assigned metadata. Let's check these off. Now let's leave this folder so I can show you what the point of all of this is. I'll click on My Pictures, and I know that all of my pictures are here. Since I have created appropriate keywords for my pictures, I'll go to the search box and I'll type in cat. I'll hit enter, and then only the pictures with assigned keywords will show up. So if you properly assign keywords to your pictures, if you properly describe your pictures, should I say, with proper keywords, you'll be able to search your pictures. This is a great option if you have a lot of pictures and if you're not that well organized. Now let's go back to all of our pictures. Another interesting option is labeling. Right-click on your picture and click on Label. You have different options here. You have No Label, Select, Second, Approved, Review, To Do. I usually want to review some of my pictures, and then after I'm done with my reviewing, I'll mark some of them as To Do. So let's say I want to review some of these pictures here. I'm going to review this one. Then I'm going to maybe review this one. Perhaps this one. And notice that we have created labels for these pictures, and they appear right here as well. You can click on Review, and it's only going to show you those pictures that you have labeled. Now let's say I only want to do 2 of these pictures. You can click on that one, hold the Control key and click on the other one, right-click, Label, To Do. And then you can go here, click on To Do, uncheck this one, and then you know that you're only working with these 2 pictures. This is a great option if you are editing, or should I say narrowing it down to the pictures that you want to ultimately use and prepare for print. Let me show you another great option in Bridge, and this is great if you are shooting camera raw files. So I'm going to click on this picture, I'll right click on it, and then I'll click on Open in Camera Raw. I'll make a few quick adjustments by converting this picture to black and white. And then I'll click Done. And I know that this picture, and this picture have the same exposure as this one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these 3 pictures, and I'll right click on them, and then I'll click on Develop Settings, and then I'll click on Previous Conversion. This is going to apply the same settings that I have applied to this picture. And this is great if your exposures are consistent all across the board. What you do to one picture can be applied to every other picture. Okay, I'm going to show you my last favorite thing in Bridge. But first I want to get rid of these tabs, so I'm just going to select every picture by clicking on Control A, right-clicking, clicking on Label, and then selecting No Label. This is going to remove all of my labels, and you'll see that we no longer have labels under Filter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to batch rename all of these pictures at once. Control A, and then go to Tools and select Batch Rename, or you can use a shortcut. Here we have many different options, but I'm going to show you the simple ones. I'll select Text, and I'll call this one D&M Imaging underscore, and notice that your preview shows up right here. Then for my second field, I'm going to have sequence number, and I'll set it to 2 digits. But if you are going to have, let's say, 300 pictures within your folder that need renaming, you want to select 3 digits then. And I'm going to set this to 1. And if you need more fields, you can easily do that by clicking on the plus sign, and then you can assign different rules to it. And you can simply delete it if you don't need it. And like I said, you can see the new file name preview right here. Once you're fine with it, you can click Rename, and you can see that your file names have changed. Before I finish this tutorial, I just want to remind you of one more thing that you can do in Bridge. If you are shooting a panoramic and if you are going to stitch the pictures in the end, you can select the pictures within your folder. If I were able to stitch these 3 pictures, which obviously I am not able to stitch these 3 because they're 3 different pictures, you would select the 3 pictures, or how many ever pictures you have. Then you would go to Tools, Photoshop, and you would do Photo Merge. The same thing applies to HDR photography. If you have 3 or 4 or more different exposures, you can select those pictures and then merge them directly from Bridge. This is a great option which allows you to see all of your pictures, which allows you to rearrange your pictures, and then merge the ones that you have selected rather than doing it from Photoshop, which makes you look for these pictures among many other files that you might have within a specific folder.